We are going to start by doing the steps to create unit tests for an existing request event. So we're going to look at our module right here, and we're going to go and do it for the My Singleton module. And this is a typical project template where we did create it with the do something and do something else events. We are going to go to Tools, Delacorp, and then in Delacorp we're going to go to DQMH, and from DQMH we are going to say New DQMH Unit Test. We're going to select the module, so it's a singleton, and on this case we're going to do the do something. Select OK, and you see how it created a folder called Unit Test. And because this is the very first one that I create, it created the setup PI for me that has the start module and the synchronize module events. It created the teardown for me that has the stop module event, and it has the unit under test, which is the tester that we're going to be seeing here. So you can see that it created an event structure, it registered for the broadcast events, and it's calling the unit under test, which in this case is the do something. So for the do something, we're going to create a constant here, and this is going to be our unit test argument. And we are going to be sending that here. Now on the event structure, you're going to notice that we have empty event cases. This is why we have a broken arrow. We could have gone to the view bookmark manager and then go from there with the code needed, but since we're already here, we're just going to go directly to here. So it says configure this frame for the module did stop broadcast event, because we know that if notice that there's no while loop. So this event structure is going to end up when any of the events here or the timeout, whichever occurs first. So if the module did stop is the very first one to occur, that means we never got the answer we wanted, and therefore the module, the unit test should fail. So we have implemented that. We're going to remove that. Now we're going to go to the next event, and we say configure this frame for the error reported. Again, if the very first thing that happens is an error, then definitely my unit test did not pass. So that's why I put a false for the path. And then we go to the next one, and this is where configure this frame for whatever broadcast event you need to assess whether or not the test passes. I mean, of course, there might be other ways for you to assess that the code passes or not. It doesn't necessarily need to be a broadcast, but we assume that you do have a broadcast when the request finishes, and this unit test is created with that in mind. So we know that when the do something happens, the did something event broadcast gets broadcasted. So what we're going to do is going to go there and look for the did something event. And in this case is where we really want to see what happens. So we are going to remove that note, and what's going to make it pass is if the message that I get is equal to the message that I sent. So if my message that I sent to the do something it's equal, then I pass. If not, I do not pass. Okay, so that implements my unit test. Now in this case, if I go to the tester and go to the test my singleton module, I can verify that if I run the stat module and then I do the test do something, I do get my singleton module sent do something. And if I stop the tester and go back to where that button is used, we'll see that we are sending this message. So we would need to see on the did something. Right now we're not displaying it. So we are going to display it just to show that it is indeed the same message that we sent. So if I run the start module and then test do something, I do get exactly the same message that I sent. So I know that this test should pass. Okay. All right, so how would I run the test? I'm going to be showing in different videos how to do it with the JKIBI tester and with unit test framework. But for now, we're going to assume that you have a custom tool that you use for doing your unit test. So I'm going to say, create here a new BI, and this BI is the BI that you would normally use on your homebrew version of unit testing. And we are going to drag, in that case, the setup. We are going to drag test, and then we are going to drag the teardown. And we wire them all together, and I'm going to look and see if the test passes. So if I run it, sure enough, it passes. I could run my tester as a sniffer and run this again, and you'll see that we get the message that the initialization module reported execution status. That means we just started. We got our unit test argument, and then we got the stop was sent, and we got all the way through. So it's not pulling our leg, people. It is working. So if you had any tool that could automatically run your unit test, you would see that this passed. So watch the other videos for how to do this with Unit Test Framework and JKI BI Tester. Thank you.